idea that one Canadian woman is assaulted every minute of the day in Canada, and therefore every minute of the day we need to be available. And the truth is that most service providers, including the Surrey Women's Centre up until this service, were 9 to 5, when most of the assaults don't happen. And in fact, what we learned in our partnership was that if we continue to only respond to women and girls during the day, that we'd only hit 10% of their cases. So 90% of women and girls are coming during the night and on the weekends. And our stats continue to show that. You know, I know when I'll get the calls from the team. It'll be Sunday night at about 9 o'clock that they're going. 2001 U.S. study of 11 cities. It looked at 239 women who had been murdered by their partners. We found some interesting things that help support why we think the hospital is such a critical intervention point. Only 5% of those 239 women that were killed by their partner visited a shelter. So even though it's a really important part of the system, again, there's only a really small fraction of women that are visiting our shelter systems. What they did find out was that 74% of the women had been seen in an emergency department within the year before they were murdered, but no intervention happened. So they truly are targeted because they're the least likely to come forward. They're the least likely to report to the police. And so sexual predators really can be preying on these women. And what ends up happening is each time they don't report, don't come forward, there's no accountability, the risk of that perpetrator is actually increasing. They're getting away with it, and it's escalating more and more. When they leave the hospital, there's still a perpetrator. Right? The risk is immediate, and it's ongoing. He could be sitting in the lobby of the waiting room. He could be waiting for her at home. And so your intervention time is really small. You have to have somebody there that's able to respond right away. It can't be a couple of days later. So that was one of the interesting findings right away was this link between the two. What we also know is that sexual assault is a very high lethality factor in domestic violence. So we're also seeing women that are at very high risk for homicide. And again, the need for making an immediate response and being able to safety plan tonight, not tomorrow, comes up in those kind of findings. For sex workers, you can do what's called a bad day report. You could come to agencies like Surrey Women's Centre. There's many agencies in downtown Vancouver. There's very few agencies across the Fraser region, another gap, right? And you can do a report of a bad day. And what happens is that goes out what's called a red light alert. And it's distributed to agencies that are in touch with women that are likely involved in the sex trade, so they can help keep themselves safe.